Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike here from MB Reviews and More, back with another video for you. Today we're doing something I have never done before. As you can see in front of me, I have a CPU that I'm going to try to build by myself. I've never done this, so I don't know how it's going to go. Hopefully it lights up and works when we're all said and done. This particular build, I've been buying this stuff over the last 7-8 months. It's going to be around a $2,000 build. Over here to the right, I have the Ear 903 Max case we'll be using. For a motherboard, I went with the Live Mixer Z89 Wi-Fi. I have, for a CPU, I'm going with the Intel Core Ultra 7. Particular reason why I went with the Ultra 7 over the AMD cards, the Ryzen cards, is because I want this particular build. I want this CPU to be able to do gaming as well as my videos. And this will definitely help. This card will definitely help speed up my video processing over the Ryzen cards, but I will still be able to get excellent gaming quality out of this thing. This will be a 1440 killer. As far as the GPU, as you can see right here, I'm going to go with the 5070 Ti, the GeForce RTX from MSI, the Ventus 3. This card is very powerful, and it is a very good card. I also have some decorative cables. Not a big deal on that. I'm going to be going with the liquid air cooling for this build. I have the Hyperflow ARGB 360 from Montech. I have a couple extra fans over here. My power supply over here is an 850 watt power supply. Is gold rated, so this is more than enough to handle what we have over there. I will be using a nice 990 Pro hard drive from Samsung. This is a 2 terabyte card, so this is going to be more than enough for anything I need. And for my RAM, I have some T-Force DDR5 cards, and the latency on this is 30, and it is 600 megahertz per second, so this is excellent RAM as well. I have 32 gigabytes, which is more than enough. Some people may want to go with 64, but 32 is just fine. In the case here, it comes with the 3 140 millimeter fans in the front, and it does have one 140 millimeter fan in the rear, but the one in the rear is not ARGB for some reason. I'm not sure why they did that, as the ones in the front are. And the one thing I like about this particular case,
see that fan in the back?
It does come with a fan module. Okay, so with that being said, like I said, I'm going to hope for the best here. I've never done this. All my knowledge on this is basically from watching some YouTube videos. It doesn't seem too bad. The only concern I have is my setup on the fans and the wiring of everything where it's supposed to go. Other than that, I think it's not going to be too bad, but we'll see. We're going to straighten this out here and start getting the build going. All right, we're going to start with the motherboard here, the Live Mixer. Get that out of the box. Inside the box here we have the Wi-Fi antennas, which we will probably use at the end. We have some extra wire cables, which is kind of nice straps. And some wiring. I'm not exactly sure what that is for just yet. And the manual, which is probably going to come in handy for me. I'll put this back in here. One thing I did learn with this is you want to put this motherboard together on top of your box. You definitely don't want to do it on like a carpet or your floor because of the static electricity. You're going to very carefully open this up just in case there's something wrong. We have to send it back. We don't want to ruin the bags and the packaging. But let's hope that's not the case. You can see that is a shot of the Live Mixer. Okay, Turn that this way. And we will start off with the most important thing, the CPU. Very delicate, very expensive. You want to handle this card very gently, from what I understand, on the side like that. You don't really want to touch anything. And on the motherboard here, from what I understand, you just pull this out, push that up, lift this up. You'll see an arrow on the card here. You want to make sure that lines up with that inside there. Just very gently drop it in, and you can move it back and forth to see if it's in it. It is in. So we're going to push this back down. Push this back down. It is going to be a little tight, and this will pop off, and that is good. Now the CPU is installed. That's one big thing out of the way. Next we will do the DDR5 memory. This is ARGB as well, so this will light up. Obviously you can get this if you don't want the lights without the ARGB. Okay, and these sticks are going to go into A2 and B2. If you're using 4 sticks, you can just put them in, just pop them in. These should pop back. The RAM only goes in one way, so if it doesn't line up, it's going in the wrong way. Stick that in, gently push down, make sure you do hear it click. That is in. That pops back up on its own, so you know it's in. Same thing with the other side. Push in, both snaps popped up. There's my memory, so we're getting somewhere. All right, so now we got a CPU installed and we have our RAM installed. Now we're going to move on to the hard drive, which goes onto this cover. Okay, this little button here, you just push that, push it in. That lifts up. Card comes off. We have to make sure we pull this off after we put our hard drives in. So we're going to pull off this one. Pull out our Samsung 2 terabyte hard drive, and you'll see it has a notch, so that kind of tells you which way it's going to go. Push that this way. Push this in, and you can see there's a little clip here you need to lock the card in with. See that little thing locks it in. It might be a little hard to pick up on the camera. Slide it, holds the card down. We don't want to forget to move our blue tape. Push this in. Push that down. That in, and we are locked in. I have to play with that a little bit. Make sure you get the button pushed all the way down when you're trying to snap that side in. So now we have our CPU, we have our RAM, we have our hard drive. That is pretty much all I think we're going to be able to do from outside of the case. So I think now we will drop the case down and try to continue to build inside of the case. We'll insert the motherboard. Alright, so for the case, we're going to take all the panels off to make it that much easier. On this particular case, I believe you just loosen these 2 screws here, these thumb screws, and it should pop out just like that. trying to do this from behind, so I'll put this down. Same thing for the glass. These 2 thumb screws. I'm going to try to keep my hands there at the same time because I don't want the glass to obviously fall and hit the table. Slide it out and then just lift it up. And as you can see in the back of this case, the one thing I liked about this case, other than its airflow, is it already has the RGB hub for the fans, the fan hub. Inside the case we have the manual. And that is probably all the supplies. So we will drop this down. Nice and easy. And we have screws and some other connections here. We have some sleeves, which I'm not sure what we'll be using them for yet. We do have some extra wire ties for the wiring, which is kind of neat. These are M3 screws. I'm assuming this is probably the motherboard. We'll find out. HDD hard drive 8. So I'm going to have to figure out which screw goes to what. I thought they were going to have the names on them. PSU. So that'll be the power supply. That one's pretty well labeled. There's some standoffs, which if we don't have them inside the case already, we'll be using them. Oh, here's the screws for the motherboard. So we'll be using these next. And we got a couple like little grommets. So that's that. So inside the case, this particular board, motherboard I have is an ATX board, and it needs 9 standoffs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So all the standoffs are in there, so they do give you a few extra ones for that. The center one is a little bigger, so we can probably to get the board adjusted right. I'm going to be very careful popping this in. And this is my center screw here, my center standoff, so I'm going to try to line that up. Get that in there. I have a wire in the way. Let's get that out of the way. Where's my standoff? There we go. Okay, we're lined up, I think, pretty good there. It's a little difficult to tell, but they do look like they're lined up. They make it look a lot easier on YouTube. But I think that's that. So now we will try to screw them in with the main board screws. And these are pretty tiny. Like very tiny. Start that in there. I'm not going to tighten these all the way up. One thing I did hear from everybody is to put these in one at a time, cross corner, so you don't put too much pressure on the board and cause any damage to the board. So I'm just going to give it about a halfway turn on halfway in on each one, going corner to corner. And just for, if you've never done this before like myself, I would highly recommend using a magnetic tip screwdriver for these things, because they're very hard to put in your hands if you get any type of, unless you got really small fingers. These screws are tiny. Now that I get them all in a little bit, I'm going to go back to the beginning and just tighten them down without over tightening them. All right, that should be pretty good. Like I said, definitely don't want to over tighten them. Last thing we need is a problem with the board. Okay, so now our motherboard is in. Okay, now that we got the motherboard all situated, you're gonna see some of these components here have these protective covers on. You probably want to take these out now before you go too much further. And this one here lets you get with your nail. So you got one on that, and there is one back here. I think that is it. So you want to make sure you get them out before you put your water cooler in your graphics card. These are pretty easy to forget. Alright, now that that's all set, I think the next thing we're going to do is, because this particular case comes with the 4 fans, these 3 here in the front are RGB, ARGB, but the exhaust in the back is not, and I want it to be. So I'm going to take this fan out and replace it with an ARGB one, just so I have the exhaust in the back to light up as well. Something I'm doing, you don't have to do it if you happen to buy this particular case. That's your discretion. This is also a 140 mil fan. So we're just going to strip this out. So we're going to start by taking this fan out now. And we're going to need to unplug this from the back. Can you see where that cord is going, Lexi?
Okay, pull.
Remember the spot it came out of?
Yep, right on the very end. Hang on. I'm gonna scoot this guy through here. Okay.
This is the 4 pin. Okay. I'll lay this back down real quick. I'll use the same screws. Okay. Okay, that fan is in. Now we will get to the top.
Okay.
All right. Hold up for a minute. Pull this off. Okay, I'm going to see how that is. Same way. Put it on camera. So we're going to plug in this one here too, which I'm assuming is the ARGB. The only thing is, I'm not 100% sure if this actually goes into this or the motherboard, but we're going to find out.
This. Because you physically need two hands to put it down. You don't want to break nothing.
Okay, so in the back of the case and our wiring harness, what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of these in while we have plenty of room. I think it's going to make it a little easier. So we're going to do the USB and the USB 3.0 cables. I'm going to slide them through the grommet here. We're going to flip the case down. And I'm going to plug the USB 3.0 in here. There should be actually a little groove on this. I need to see.
I see it.
Want to make sure the grooves line up. My old man eyes can't see it as good as hers. Is that the right direction?
Yeah, the groove went in.
Okay, that should be in. Let's just take a look at the flashlight. That does look like it's all the way in. This one here goes in right here. I don't know. These only go in one way too. Just want to make sure they're in. That does appear to be in. So that's them too. Okay, so now we got the USBs plugged in. We're going to come back to the back here and we're going to plug in some more of these other ones that we can get plugged in before we go any further. This one here is the HD audio. So if you're going to use audio, you can plug this in. I'm not plugging it anyway. I'm not sure if I'm going to have audio, but that's going to be, I know that's on the right side of my board over here. So I'll feed this up through the back over here. Pull that to the front a little bit. I don't know if it's going to stay till I tip it over. Way over here we have all these little ones. For basically the control panel, we have the reset switch. We have power LEDs, power switch, and the HDD LED. These are all going to be going on the opposite side of the board. So we'll pop these through the bottom here. Pull them up there like that. This one doesn't want to stay. But we'll go in there, try to grab it. And with my eyes, I'm never going to see the switches, so I'm going to have Lexi actually plug these in. So we'll turn this way. Can you actually, I'm going to try to flip the board down. Yeah, that one doesn't want to stay in there. Can you hand me that one up in here again?
I did, it's right.
You didn't the hole, woman. Okay.
Give me two of your fingers, I can't see.
Alright, can you bring the board down? Just bring the toe case down towards you. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Alright, slide it back there. Okay.
Try not to crush my fingers.
Now I know this is going to be a little difficult to see, but as you can see, the HD audio is going in over here, and all these power switches that she's going to be putting in are going in on this side. So I'm going to let her do it, and she can. I'll switch. You want to switch sides?
Sure. I'm going to plug the HD audio in first, and you can see this one has a piece missing right here. So you can see that the prod is missing up here. So I'm just going to line this up.
Yeah, so that'll only go on one way. You just definitely want to be careful. And again, guys, we're sorry about the lighting. It's going to be very hard to see.
Okay. It should be all the way down.
Yep, that looks good. But you can see that's all the way. That's the far right of the board. Now your board may be different, but one thing I did notice when I was watching videos, almost all the HD audios were in that spot on the board, as well as the display panel. Most of them were over here on the board.
Okay,
Reset.
so I'm gonna start with this reset, and I'm pretty sure this goes here.
That's the reset.
And this is the HDD, this is the power switch, so I'm going to do the power switch next. And
if you're like me and you're building one of these and you have bad eyes, make sure you have somebody with good eyes and you're doing this in extremely good light. Because it is hard to read this board. HDD LED.
So I'm pretty sure the HDD goes right here. And then what was, it was right and left. So, pretty sure this would be...
Negatives right.
Negatives right?
Yep.
So then I'm pretty sure it's on the top then. Make sure if you got bigger hands too, you got somebody who's got small hands to do this. Because these are quite small. Okay, I think those are all the way in.
Alright, so that's all that's basically all these that were over here are basically the control buttons to turn your power on, and your LEDs for your lights on the top of your case or either on the bottom or the side, depending on the case you bought. So that's them. Okay, so this wire here that's coming out of the fan controller, we're going to stick it through over here and plug it into the front of the board. I just don't know exactly where this other one goes yet. It's the only one left. This is the other one that comes out of the fan controller as well. So I will figure that out, but after this one, that'll be all of the wires that are in the back that have to go into the motherboard. So we'll flip this down and we'll plug this in. Okay, that's that one. So that's all set. So now we'll flip this back up. Just pull this one through a little bit more. Alright guys, we're going to move on to the power supply. We're going to crap this in now. Little bag there. Probably with all the cords in it. See a little pouch. And here is all our connections. There's the screws. I'm not 100% sure on exactly which ones of these we're going to need and which ones we're not going to need. So hopefully we can figure it out. Okay. This is the 600 watt cable that's going to go into the graphics card, so we're going to need that. .24-pin motherboard cable, so we're going to need that. PCIe cable. These are not labeled, so I'm not sure what these are for just yet, so we'll set them aside. CPU cable. These are the PCIes. PCIes. Not sure on this one. This one says CPU too, but we already had one of them. Did we not? Yeah. So we got a second CPU one, I don't know why. I'm not sure on these. And the power. So we're going to pop that in here, matching up the clip to the bottom. One next to it right into this one. We got the CPU cable. CPU. This end is different with the clip, so that goes into the board. We got the 600 watt cable. Goes over here. There it goes. Goes in there like that. See that plug in the SATA there. And on the back over here, you can see this is going to be a 6-pin with one missing. Say this so we can plug that into any one of these, it looks like. That's that. Okay, so there's the SATA. Alright, now that we got everything that I think needs to be plugged in here, we're going to put the power supply into the case. Just make sure, the one thing I know is the fan side has to be facing down. So we'll slide this in. And, get it lined up with the holes. So we'll just get this one started. Throw this one in. This is a little off center, so if you happen to ever get the same case, it's not like corner to corner. 3 of them in a corner, but this one's off centered. It's a little strange. Stuck to my elbow. Okay, we can start installing some of our cables. A couple of them. This is the graphics card, so we can't quite do this yet. We can do our 24 pin. I actually get an extension for this one. Make it look a little better. So we can stick this in. Through here. This is where the cable management's going to get a little messy back here. Now we got all these big cables coming in. I'll slip this into the 24 pin on this side, which is right here. Appears to be in. Just tighten it up, make it look a little better. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So that's that one. Okay guys, it is the next day. We had to stop last night because it was just getting too dark and very hard to see, and plus we had to eat. So we're back the next day. It's actually a little late in today's day too because everybody had to work and everything. But we're back. But just I don't even remember exactly 100% sure the last thing we did, but we were working on the power supply, which we do have plugged in. We got the 24 pin plugged into the motherboard. One thing we did find that I did some research on is I was having some issues with the SATA cable. I couldn't figure out where on the motherboard to plug this in because the spot that says SATA on the motherboard, it doesn't receive this clip. But after doing a little bit of research, realized that this actually doesn't get plugged in this actually doesn't get plugged in the board. It comes out of the power supply and it will just plug in to this part of the SATA, which comes from the case, and it should be fine just like that, so it doesn't go into the board. So that was a little confusing. Also, because we have the 600 volt cord for the GPU, we didn't need the PCIe. So we got the 2 CPU cords, which will go into the front of the motherboard. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So what we'll do first, just to be real quick and easy, is we'll take this SATA coming out of the case, and we will just plug this in to one of these here. Doesn't matter which one. You can see you can have multiple connections on this particular cord. That's in good. So now that should take care of the SATA cable, and we should be able to filter that away. I'll have to probably undo this and flip it back around. Trying to wire manage as we go so there's not as much wire management needed. There we go. We'll flip that around. Pop it back in. And now we're pretty good wire management there, so we'll just hide that away in there. Our 600 volt, we don't have the GPU in yet, but we can, to get this out of the way, we can slip it through the front for now. Through this here grommet. So that'll be in place and ready for us. And that's already wire managed pretty much till we plug it in. So that leaves us with the 2 CPU cables. Now I did, as you can see, I did buy the cable extensions because I wanted to add a little vibrancy to the front of the case, but the cables I got, the box I got, they're not working with some of these cables, which is kind of disappointing. So I'm probably gonna have to buy a couple new ones. Even though these won't show much in the front, I did want a little color there, and it was supposed to come with the 600 volt extension, and it doesn't. So that box was a waste. So later on down the line, I'll probably just replace that. That's not a big deal, but it's just disappointing. So we're gonna stick these 2 cables through here. And I'm catching the fan cables. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down because I'm going to let Lexi plug these in because she can see it a lot better. So, did it fall out? Nope, they're still in there. So I will swap the camera from her. And these things are very weird. You got to make sure they are plugged in the right way. I know it's going to be very difficult to see this with her hand in there.
You have to flip this back up again. It can't be laying down.
Alright, here we go. These are the 2 clips that it goes into right here on the top of the motherboard. The 2 8-pin connectors. So you just got to kind of put the cables in the right direction.
And you're going to hear it click when it goes in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll go in the wrong way, but
it does
I'm
not.
not going to want to. Oh, you tried, it didn't go in. Right.
Yeah, because it's too low here for these clips up here at the top to get down here. So
right,
it's
so
only
good.
one way it can get plugged in.
So that's good. So you can't
at least
make the
in
mistake.
this board itself.
Yeah, but just definitely do not force.
Don't force it.
Because these pins are very fragile. That's one thing I can tell you.
Okay.
And that doesn't look terrible. Like I said, I would have rather had the red and black like this up here. Even though you're not going to see much of that, it still would have added some color. So like I said, that was very disappointing. Okay. Okay, so that's that. It is in, as you can see now. We got our CPU cables plugged in. We have our SATA connected. We have our 24-pin connected. The only thing left that's coming out of the power supply is the 600 volt for the graphics card. Everything looks good for our fan so far. So that is pretty much it as far as that goes. I think we're now ready to do our cooler. Okay, so this is the water cooler we're going to be using in this build. It is the Montech Hyperflow ARGB 360. And there's somewhat of a look at it. We do have the back plates for the different things, Intel and AMD. And put this down here. Get it out of the box. That is the whole unit. As you can see, it comes with the fans all pre-installed, which is going to be very helpful to us for the installation. We got the end cables here, which I just got to figure out which one's going to be a fan control, I assume, and the other's going to be for the RGB, which I believe these have to go into the motherboard. That's the only thing I'm not 100% on. I don't think I can put these into the fan controller, so I'm just going to plug them into the motherboard. I think that's the proper way to do it. And with this here, one of these is going to be for the AIO pump, and the other is probably for the fan control of the RGB. And those will also go into the board. Now, for anybody that's watching this that's built multiple computers before, can tell me if I'm wrong or does it matter, feel free to comment. Here is our thermal paste. I thought, yeah, this one actually comes with it on there too, as well, it looks like. I will just have to double check that, but I believe that white thing is the thermal paste. Some tools, and some, actually they even, here's a tool to screw the things down in the front, and they even give us a couple more for the hose to keep the holes nice and tight, like the wire connections on there, cable connectors. So that's pretty cool. And multiple brackets here. We're going to need the one, even though this is an 1851 port, the 1700 is supposed to be the same setup. This is an LGA 115X, so that's not going to be the one. This looks like it's an AMD type bracket, so I don't think that's the one. I don't think. Or maybe that's the one on the front. And this is the LGA, yeah, it does say LGA 1700 1851 on there. I don't know if you can see that. So that'll definitely be the one that we need to use for the rear. Alright, we got everything spread out for the water cooler now. This is the bracket that we'll put on the back of the board here. Kind of just like this. And whatever direction it fits. This way. Like that. It has the 3M tape that we're going to have to peel off when we're ready to put that on. Once that's on, these are the screws that'll go through the front to hold that bracket on. These are the screws that'll hold on the pump, and these are the ones for the fans to hold in the top of the case. Now on the pump, we have two wires coming out with like the RGB, the pump, the AIO pump, and another chassis fan wire. Coming out of the fans, we have a 3-pin hookup for, I believe that's RGB, and a case fan. I think with this here, I believe I can take this along with this one, take this cap off here, 3-pin, and I believe I can plug these into each other like that. I'm pretty sure that's okay. If it's not, anybody out there that knows, let me know. But I think I can plug these two together, so it'll just leave me to plug in this, the pump, and then another fan cable over here. So I think we're ready to put this bracket on at least. Peel this tape off. This fits, one side is bigger than the other. I think that's it. That appears to be in. I'm going to give it a little pressure. I don't want to put too much pressure on that. That should at least be good enough to set it down to put these screws in. And we'll lay this down like so. And we get the ones that do say the ones that say LG 1700, because that's supposed to be the same as the 1851. Now you can see this is already kind of like preset. The small end is the end that goes in this way. I'm going to do this cross corner, keep even pressure. Just hand tightening right now. And I believe this is the tool they give you to tighten it down all the way. I'm not going to crunch this because I don't really know how tight they want these, but I'm just going to do it till it stops. And that should be fine. You can see as I try to put the fan in, because this is going to get a little hard to do this. Okay, I want my pump hoses to be on this side, so I'm going to put the fan in like this. The only thing I may have to do is feed these cables through, I think, first. So let me undo the one I connected over here. Okay, put that down bottom. Line that up so it's even on both sides. Alright, can you get one of those screws and just stop pumping
These
it
are the
in?
ones?
Yep. Leave it loose. That's it. And one over here. That's it. So we can move it.
Corner to corner is what you want me to do?
Just leave it. That's it. No more. Well, as you can see, we just popped in a screw here and a screw here, just to hold the fan in place, and this way if we have to move it, there's still plenty of slack and it's not going to go nowhere. So I'll give this back to Lexi. And what we can do now is pop this back down. And the difficult part here is the pump.
Slide it across every pin that's on there.
I want the pump to look like this. So the Montech symbol is facing out. So I believe I'm going to need these here. I need these here lockdowns after we pop the pump on. So we got in the back of the pump protecting the thermal paste. I'm just going to snap that off. I want the pump like this. Get these wires out. And I'm just going to hold some pressure down on there. Run out of time here. That's not for nothing. What are we doing wrong here? There it is. I'm going to do this cross corner as well. No, I did this. Stop that one.
What happens if I paused it?
Couple of even turns on each side is all I'm doing here. As soon as it stops, I'm stopping. I'm not trying to tighten anymore. Once that nut stops, I stop. That's not the correct thing to do. If you guys are watching, you know. Let me know. But that's the pump there. Now we can try to figure out these fans. I'm gonna have to pop this back up just so we can see what's going on. Okay, what we'll do. Now we can connect those two back together. There's one set. So I just connected the two back together from the fans and the pump. Okay. And if I look at the pump here, on the motherboard, they are typically a different color. In my case, it's gray.
How do you want me to run this?
It's going to go over the top of the...
Yeah, that's why I'm asking how you want me to run it.
Yeah, we're going to try to pull it through. Kind of see the one next to it.
It's just I can't see where the freaking pins are in this little black plug. But when it's laid flat down, I can see it.
Alright, hold on, let's lay it flat down. Alright, we're going to lay it down flat because it's a little too difficult to get standing up. Like I said, these pins are very difficult. You watch people on YouTube do this, they do it in like 2 seconds, but you don't have small fingers. I don't know how they're popping it in that fast.
There we go.
Alright.
Leverage.
That was a little tough to get to. But as you can see, it's that one right there. It is in there. Is it in there nice and tight? I want to just double check it.
Yeah. It's in there.
Alright, so that's in there good. So we're going to lift this back up. We're probably going to have to put it back down to do the next one as well. Hold that. That was, we were on the pump, right?
Yes.
Alright, so pump. This one and this one, and I'm not sure which one you did. This is coming out of the pump right here, right?
Yeah, bottom's coming out of the pump.
All right, so this is...
Top one is for the fan.
That's this one, okay. So
yeah, that's for the fan.
This is the one that's connected there. This needs to go into a case fan slot. We got the addressable RGB coming through. And we have the fan.
So what am I doing?
The one with the 3-pin, the addressable RGB will go into the 3-pin on the right side of the board.
Top right?
Yeah, that says addressable RGB 2 or 3 probably.
3. I can't get this in there either.
It is quite difficult. We're going to lay this down again to put these two in because it's just too difficult to try to put this up on the side. You can't really see it. that's in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the 3-pin that's in. All right, now do the 4-pin CPU fan. Now we're going to plug in the fan connector of it.
Nice and snug.
All right.
That's it.
Now we're going to pull this up just to make sure we get all of them connected. I don't try to get any. Okay, I think we have all of them connected. I think I probably could have went into the controller here with those ones that were coming out of the fan. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. All right. I don't like the way the wires look coming through there. It's really hard to hide these wires right there. You can see the flashlights on. So I'm going to remove the fan ones and we're going to put it into the controller and hopefully that works. So we just don't want to unplug the AIO pump.
Okay.
All right, now we'll flip this up. Pull them through. Gets to be a hot mess back here after a while. But I think we've done a pretty good job of wire management as we go, so we don't have to spend a couple hours later trying to fix it all up.
So you just want me to go into any of these?
Yeah, so we can go in the one right next to the one that's used. So we're going to put the 4-pin in the bottom part of the controller. That's that one. And then we'll put the 3-pin on the top. We just gotta remove the cover. And again, be very careful with the pins. They are really fragile. And that's that. Alright, so now that we got all that, the water cooler, we're just going to tighten it down now with the rest of the screws. That is pretty much it for that. And there is a bunch of them. There's like at least 12, I believe. And just so if you're new like me and you've never done one of these, one thing I do recommend is make sure before you start you have a pretty small screwdriver. This is almost precision size. I don't know how it's going to look on the camera, but these screws and everything in here is very small. And if you're older like me and you don't have the greatest eyes, make sure you have Alexi around who's young and has good eyes. Even though she wears glasses, hers are better than mine. Because the writing on the board is very small. Like I said, watching it on YouTube, they have these nice zoom cameras to zoom in like 200 times to make it look big, but it is not. It's doable, but there's a couple times I had to pull out the magnifying glass to see stuff, especially once the board is in the case because it gets dark. And even with these lights I have some pretty decent studio lights here, and they create shadow. Oop, don't want to go inside there. That was one. I would say this water cooler is not going anywhere. And there is 12 screws, 6 on the top, 6 on the side there, 6 on each side. Okay, so that's that. So now we are into the graphics card. Moment of truth. I don't know if I can do this laying down. I should be able to. I'm going to give it a shot. So let me get the graphics card. And this is the wonderful 5070 Ti. This is a very, very good card from all the research I've done. It's got plenty of everything you need. It'll play a lot of games in 4K. It's a 1440 killer. I bought this card, however, like I said, I bought this PC over a cost of like 8 months. It was like the beginning of the year in January, buying pieces and pieces. This card, because of tariffs and whatnot coming through China and just the graphic card issue, I paid, I believe, $800 for this card, maybe a little over. I believe you can start to, they're actually starting to come down a little bit now, so it might be cheaper, but it is an excellent card. So we're going to open this up, take it out, and we'll pop it in. Okay guys, we have the graphics card ready to go. I am just going to line this up inside the case to see which of the card slots I got to take out of here. I'm just going to slightly put this down nice and easy. And it looks like 2 and 3 have to come out. So we'll pop these out real quick. Okay, what's the problem here? Okay, we have to take this off the bottom here, and you can see there is a slot in the card there, and there is a little space there. This is a very delicate process, and it's kind of tough to line this up, so I'm going to do this very very carefully.
I'm helping you, I'm helping you. Go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward. Pick up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Go forward, right there.
Good. All right, let it go if that's it. And if that's in the right spot, we will snap it in and we should hear a click. And that is it. And then we will just put our screws back in. There's one. That's screwed in. That and that. Now before we plug our cable in, we're just going to take off the protective plastic. If I can find a piece that's loose.
Right here.
Where's this go all the way around the card? Come on. Should take it out first. Okay, we get the plastic off. Just be careful, guys. There is a lot of plastic on both sides. I didn't even know it was on the back. Definitely want to try to peel that off before you. I recommend peeling that stuff off before you put the card in. It'll make your life a little easier. Now the cord.
Right there.
You can see it's got that extra notch there, and it has it there. So I want to make sure that's going the right way.
Careful, don't push them too hard. You're crunching.
It's all right. It has to be in tight. Okay, that looks pretty good there. Like I said, I did really wanted the colored wires for that, but unfortunately I don't have it. Didn't come with the kit I bought, so that doesn't look too bad. But that is a card, and unless I am totally forgetting something, I believe the build is done. So now what we're gonna do is plug the cord in for the power supply, plug the power supply in, and turn it on, and hopefully all the fans come on, spin, we get all the RGB. If that works, then we can unplug it and we can set the keyboard and monitor up, and we're gonna install Windows on it. And if it as long as we get a post, we're looking good. But for now, give us a minute to get this plugged in. We're going to take this into Lexi's room because I don't have a plug close enough over here to plug in. So we'll just toss this up on her desk, plug it in, and hopefully everything lights up and spins. We'll be right back. Alright guys, this is what the build looks like. All set up. We did add the little support bracket for the card, even though it didn't really need it. I had it, might as well use it. And we added our Funko Pop. And I forgot who this who we got here again.
It's Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Eddie from Iron Maiden, yes. Forgot who we had there, but that's Eddie. So now we're gonna go to the power supply in the back here. We're gonna turn it on. You can see we're already getting some lights, which is a very good sign on the motherboard. I don't know if there's anything else that's supposed to be light up right now, but the fact that we got some is a good sign. So up on top here we got a power button. Let's hope that the fans kick on and all the RGB does. Oh, this is a beautiful sign, fellas. It looks like we might have did this right. we got the lights on our memory. We got the lights on our water pump. The cooler pump fans are working. The fan we put in with the RGB and the exhaust is working, and the free fronts, which I figured worked because I didn't put them in. But that is a very, very good sign. It is nice and quiet. I don't know if Lexi can put the camera right up in there.
I just did.
It is quiet. And these are 140 fans in the front and the back, 120s on the top. She looks pretty, I gotta say. It's not bad. For my first build, I'm happy to be at least this far. Because I wasn't sure, especially with the connections for the fans. They were, some of them were a little tricky because the board, and when you QR scan the box, it takes you to the setup of the board so you can tell where everything is. Some of the wording on the board was different than the wording on some of our wires, so it made it a little confusing for a first timer. So keep that in mind. That may happen to you. Other than that, it was not really bad to put this together. The fan coming together, I mean the water cooler coming with all the fans all together saves a little time, made it easier. Having a fan module in the back of the case is great, and it gives you the opportunity to have plenty of fans. I did buy a fan for the bottom here. I wanted to put one more here for an intake fan, but the fan that I bought is just the fan screws, the long ones, are just not long enough. They're like a hair short, so I couldn't put it in. I'm not sure why that happened. It's a Montech fan, but when you do put it side by side with these other fans, it is a little bigger. So I got to do a little research. I can put that in later on and just plug that into the controller, and it should work. And as you can see, all the fans are the same color, it looks like. They're all working in sync. So I did the addressable RGB correctly, it appears, which is another good sign. As far as time-wise, like I said, this went over 2 days because we did start late one day and we actually started late again today. But in all total, it probably 3 hours because there was a lot of stopping to just read up in the book or, you know, just for whatever reason. So it probably took 3 hours. I know an experienced builder can probably do this in 20 minutes. But I'm happy with it. Learned a little bit. Definitely was good to have Lexi, like I said, because these boards, I mean, you can see these pins and then you're trying to read and they have multiple things written on top of each other. It's a little technical. Now, the only thing that I was concerned with was the 4 pins, the dual pins that only had 2 prongs in each for the on-off switches and stuff for the control panel on top. It appears fine because the power button worked. I'm going to see if I can use the LED button to change the colors on the fans, and that is working. So you can like change this and put it any way you want. It's all white. And I think that's back to the original. So there's multiple things you can do. So that's good that that's working. The power button's working. So hopefully the USBs should be fine because they're plugged into the board there. And those are pretty straightforward. So I think everything's going to be good. The only thing we got to hope for now is we get a post when we try to turn on Microsoft Windows. And things will be good. We'll hook up a monitor to this, a keyboard, and we'll go. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, we're back. We have the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse, and we have the flash drive with Windows on it, which hopefully works. When you plug in your display into your CPU, make sure you plug it into the graphics card. Do not plug it into the motherboard inputs, because it's not going to help you out. Plug it into the graphics card. I'm going to give this to Lexi and have her show you where she plugged everything in the back so you can see, just in case you need that info.
So this is the display cable for the monitor. There is an HDMI port over here, and then there's 3 display cables. So you can have 3 monitors hooked up to this PC. This is the flash drive with the Windows on it. We have the mouse here, and then the keyboard directly behind it in this little dongle. And that's about it. Other than that, this is the power supply cable, and that's about it.
Okay, what we're hoping for now is that when we fire this up, we get a post over here. If we don't get a post, then something's wrong, and we're going to have to do some troubleshooting, which is going to be new to me. So, keeping the fingers crossed. Let's get this monitor turned.
You got to turn the PC on.
All right, so here we go. We're going to... Can you actually see that button up there, the first one? Okay, now we are hoping to get a post. Fans are all running. Everything looks good there.
Mouse is running. Keyboard's running.
We're kind of looking for Asrock. There it is. We have a post. That is a beautiful, beautiful sign. Now, this is a little new territory for me. I think it's going to take us into possibly a Windows or a BIOS. Yes, it's taking it to a Windows thing, and I don't have my glasses.
So select language, install language, English.
Yep.
Time current English, United States.
Yep.
Next. Current US. Next. Install Windows 11. I would like to install Windows 11. Agree, everything will be deleted, including files, apps, and settings.
Yep.
Install the latest version of Windows 11 or repair your PC. If you're installing Windows 11, please note your files, apps, and settings will be deleted.
This is a brand new install, so there's nothing going to be deleted. But if you're doing an install with a hard drive that has stuff on there, keep that in mind. It could delete your stuff. What is that asking for?
The product key should be with the box the DVD came in or on your email receipt. This looks familiar to this.
Yes, we don't have a product key yet.
X.
So we're going to try to... let's click next.
No.
It's supposed to do... I don't have a product key.
I don't have a product key.
There we go. There it is. Okay. You can bypass the product key. We need Windows 11 Home.
Windows 11 Home, just regular? No,
right.
and no.
Is there anything that just says Windows 11?
It just says Windows 11 Home.
All right, that's what we want.
Okay. Next.
And be careful to select whatever one you downloaded because it could mess you up. It'll definitely mess you up later on. We're going to agree to the terms. So like I said, I was going to say, you don't need the key to do this right off the rip. It'll let you get into that and you can set up all the drivers and do what you can do in the BIOS. Is that the hard drive question?
It says select location to install Windows 11.
We're looking for the SSD 2 terabyte Samsung. I can't see.
I see 1.8 terabyte disk 0 unallocated space.
What does the one underneath say?
Disk 1 partition 1 ESD USB 28.9.
Oh, so you want the top one? Yep. Okay. The USB
so
is the flash drive.
It is on that one.
That's the same question, right? Oh, I mean, go back. Oh no, that was it. All right, hit install.
It says you won't be able to use your PC during installation.
Nope.
So install.
All right, so this is gonna probably take some time, guys. We'll let this do its thing, and we'll come back when it's up. But so far, this is really what we needed to get to. Everything is working. Maybe if we have time, I don't think it's going to be possible tonight to put a game, some kind of game on it, just to make sure the graphics card is working and whatnot. And we'll show you, we'll take the back off of this, show you the wire management we did, and we'll have the glass on the front. And so the next time you see us, which may be tomorrow morning, we'll give you the final update. But this is really good. If you got this far, it's a great thing. Congratulations. I'm very happy with everything working myself. This is the first time. So anything could have went wrong, and if it didn't start up, it would have been a lot of difficult troubleshooting for me. But I would have just went one thing at a time. So this it's, you know, as far as building your own PC, don't be afraid to do it. I was a little nervous at first, and then I started watching some videos. But keep in mind, these guys that do this every day, they make it look real easy. Like I said, the biggest thing is being able to read some of the stuff on your board, and if the board manual doesn't match, you know, the chords, it can be a little difficult. But like, I stopped a couple times, just did a little research, and boom, it was there. But as you can see, I'll give you a quick final look. That's where we're at. My little Eddie doll's not in there right now as we were moving it around, but it looks good. I'm happy with it. I would like to get my other fan installed eventually, but other than that, it's looking good. Tell me what you think. Do you like it, or you don't like it, or whatever? But we'll be back to show you the final wrap up of this next time you see us. So we'll see you soon. Okay, guys, here's as promised what it looks like in the back after all the wire management is done. Want to thank Lexi for taking the time to be the one to do this. She did a great job. It looks really good. Best advice would be to try to keep your wires pretty neat as you go along, because this probably can be a pain in the arse if you don't. But that's that. The wire management. And we put the final fan in. It finally came in from Amazon. We have it over here on the bottom. It is upside down because we want the fan to be blowing air in. I want to use it as an intake. And so that is what it is for now. That is that. Everything's put together. Lexi's putting the back on right now. I think it looks pretty good. Got my little Eddie from Iron Maiden in there. He looks good. And we're gonna give you the last look with the glass going on. Alright, so now we've got the glass on, we're gonna do the final peel, which everybody seems to find pretty cool. There it is. Looks good, guys. A couple little fingerprints we gotta wipe off later on that we touched when we put the glass on. It was the bottom screw just didn't really seem to want to go in too well. And we'll fire it up, and that's the. I think it looks pretty good. I think we did a pretty good job for the first build. This is something you want to do. If you've never done it before, just take your time, watch some videos. It's pretty cool. It was a little anal at times, but for the most part, it really wasn't bad at all. Very happy with it. Let us know what you guys think, and for those of you guys out there who build these things every day, let us know how you think we did. Like to hear your comments, and if you think we messed up something that we should fix, that'd be great to know too. But until then, that's going to do it. This is Mike from MB Reviews and More. Once again, I want to thank Lexi for all her help and her eyes. And until next time, we'll see you.